Hello everyone, I hope you're all doing great. I'm Kirti Sophia Purnachan, and in today's session we'll be continuing the chapter Writing for Professional Purposes, and this is part 4. Today we'll be learning about how to write reports. So let's see what a report is. A report is written for a clear purpose and to a particular audience. Specific information and evidence are presented, analyzed, and applied to a particular problem or issue. The information is presented in a clearly structured format, making use of sections and headings so that the information is easy to locate and follow. While writing a report, you may be given, the first one is instructions and guidelines. The second is the purpose, audience, and problem or issue that your report must address. And the third one is specific requirements for format or structure. So these are the three important things that we should keep in mind while writing a report. Moving on to the structure of a report. The main feature of the reports are the following. Title page. This should be briefly but explicitly describe the purpose of the report. It should also include your name, the date, and for whom the report is written to. The second point is terms of reference. Under this heading, you should include a brief explanation of who will read the report. You should explain about who is the audience, why it was written, the purpose of this report, and how it was written. What all methods did you take to write this report? It may be in the form of a subtitle or a single paragraph. The third one is summary or abstract. The summary should briefly describe the content of the report. It should cover the aims of the report, what was found, and what, if any, action is called for. Length of the abstract should not be more than half a page. It should provide the reader with a clear, helpful overview of the content of the report. The fourth one is table of contents. The contents page should list the different chapters or headings with page number. Your contents page should be presented in such a way that the reader can quickly scan the list of headings and locate a particular part of the report. Fifth one is introduction. The introduction sets the scene for the main body of the report. The aims and objectives of the report should be explained in the introduction in detail. Any problems or limitations in the scope of the report should be identified, and a description of research methods, the parameters of the research, and any necessary background history should be included in the introduction. Moving on to the sixth one, which is methods. It may include a list of equipment used, explanations of procedures followed, relevant information on materials used, including sources of materials and details of any necessary preparation, reference to any problems encountered, and subsequent changes in procedure. So All these things should be explained in depth while writing the methods. Moving on, results. It should include a summary of the results of the investigation or experiment together with any necessary diagrams, graphs, or tables of gathered data that support your results. Present your results in a logical order without comment. The eighth one is discussion. The main body of the report is where you discuss your material. The facts and evidence that you have gathered should be analyzed in depth and discussed with specific reference to the problem or issue. Your points should be grouped and arranged in an order that is logical and easy to follow. The ninth one is conclusion. In the conclusion, you should show the overall significance of what has been covered, highlighting what you consider to be the most central issues or findings. However, no new material should be introduced in the conclusion. So by reading the conclusion, a reader should get a clear idea of your report. Appendices. Under this heading, you should include all the supporting information you have used that is not published. This might include tables, graphs, questionnaires, surveys, or transcripts. Bibliography. Your bibliography should list in alphabetical order by author all published sources referred to you in your report. There are different styles of using references and bibliographies. If you are a scholar of English literature, you might be using the MLA handbook for writing the bibliography. Acknowledgements. The assistance of particular organizations or individuals who provided information, advice, or help should be mentioned in the acknowledgement part of your report. And the last segment is glossary or technical terms. It is useful to provide an alphabetical list of technical terms with a brief, clear description of each term. You can also include in this section explanations of the acronyms, abbreviations, or standard units used in your report. Now we'll look into the different types of reports. In the real work scenario, you may have to write different kinds of reports. In order to make it easy, we will divide the reports into three types. The first type is recommendation report, the second type is evaluation report, and the last one is feasibility report. Let's look in depth what recommendation report is. Recommendation report compares two or more options against requirements and then recommends one option, several options, or none. I'll explain. Compares two or more options. That is, in a recommendation report, that person will be taking two or more products, plans, or organizations. Let's take the case of a soap. That person is taking three types of soap brands, that is Lux, Hammam, and Lifebuoy. Okay, against requirements and then recommends one option. That is, that person who's writing the report will compare these three things and that person will recommend one best product or one soap that is best among the three, or there may be several options, that is there may be more than one that is good for our skin. So that person will tell regarding that, that is Lux and Lifebuoy are equally good, he or she might say in that manner, or none, that is the person who's writing may say that neither of these soaps are good or would give any benefits to your skin. So that is known as recommendation report. The person who's writing the report will recommend us which product or which organization or which brand a person should choose by comparing the products. A recommendation report starts from a stated need, a selection of choices, or both, and then recommends one, some, or none. For example, a company might be looking at grammar checking software and want a recommendation on which product is the best. As the report writer on this project, you could study the market for this type of application and recommend one particular product, or you could recommend a couple of products that are good by stating the strengths and weaknesses, or you may recommend that none of the products available in the market is good. Okay, so this is what you call as recommendation report. Moving on to the second one, evaluation report. Evaluation report compares individual products, plans, programs, properties, organizations, etc. against requirements and makes an evaluative judgment whether it met its expectations or whether it is good or useful. This type of report provides an opinion or judgment rather than a yes, no, maybe answer or a recommendation. It provides a studied opinion on the value or worth of something. So that is known as evaluation report. And the last type of report is feasibility report. Feasibility report makes an evaluative judgment as to whether a project is possible or worthwhile. Its essential task is to tell the readers whether a project is feasible, whether it is technically, socially, economically, administratively, or environmentally possible or practical. So, as the name itself suggests, this report tells the reader whether the project that they have taken up is feasible or not. This type of report studies a situation and a plan for doing something about it and then determines whether that plan is feasible, which means determining whether it technologically possible and whether it is practical. The feasibility report answers the question, should we implement this plan, by stating yes, no, but more often it's stated as maybe. Not only does it give a recommendation, it also provides the data and the reasoning behind that recommendation. So that's all for today. I hope today's session was fruitful for you all. We'll continue in the next class. Thank you so much.